Close enough. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Glad to have you here. Happy Thursday. It's Thursday, right? Let me make sure. Yes. Happy Thursday. Glad to have you all here. Welcome. Hello, Medusan. Hello, Lavana. Hello, Nadia. Frozen Random. Lady Gigs. How is everybody? We're still in Classic. We've got classic-y things to classic, so we can classic while we classic. Not a lot left of Classic, actually. Just a few things left to clean up. I know it looks like a lot more than it is, but it's mostly like recipes, which actually is what we're going after right now, and like BOEs that are stupidly expensive because they have an insane low drop rate. You know, so that's not buffed by the event, so we'll be ignoring that for the most part. I think it's Thursday. Yes, exactly. So yeah, y'all kick back, relax, grab a drink. We're gonna have at least one run of Lower Blackrock Spire here. A partial run anyways. I just need one boss. I think I'm almost to him. And then, whether or not I get the recipe, I just wanted to see if I get it. We'll pop back over to actually Molten Core. I have a couple other accounts that are still active. I thought they expired already. They have like, let's say 11 hours left on them. So I can throw the shamans at those because that's not a Tome of Hex, which is character specific. It's an illusion, which is account wide, so I can do that. So yeah. They see that correctly? Blizz just reset all raids? I don't believe so. Did they reset all the raids or something? I don't see any news about it. Huh. I don't know. I haven't heard about it. Interesting. That'd be kind of nice if they did. Be really nice, actually. There we go. Recipe, maybe? He did. Excellent. Those have a really high drop rate. That's fantastic. Nice. And I got a pet. Cool. Now it's just for the achievement, which that is a future me problem. Classic has quite a few bosses that have bosses you can't summon without removed items. Maybe I should turn those off. Yeah, that might help, because I think that would be under unobtainables, I believe, is what that category would mean. Hello, Haley, how you doing? What do we mean reset the raids? I'm not sure. Quest Core says they reset all the raids, but I have no idea. I don't see any news about it, so. I killed the raid, then message saying it unlocks in a minute, then boom, boss came back. Huh, that sounds like a bug. I don't know. Yeah, that sounds like a bug. I have no idea. I have not experienced that. That's interesting. Okay, so Lower Blackrock's good. So yeah, so we just have not Scarlet Monastery. We have Sholomance left with what little is left in there. It's being really stubborn. And then a little bit of Molten Core and a little bit of Blackwing Lair. So let's get kicked out. This character's not done Blackwing Lair yet. We'll go do Blackwing Lair. There we go. Mob Classic DC'd while I was leveling my stupid panda for the stupid mount that I don't even want. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, Nadia. That's frustrating. Ripperino. But yeah, we'll go do a run of Blackwing Lair. And whether we do or don't finish it, I'll switch accounts and grab my other shamans. Let's see, that one's done already. So the next one would be that one. Yeah, that one has 11 hours on it, so okay. Hello, finishing up Classic, I see. I am indeed. There's just a few things left, even though it sure doesn't look like it in that list. Scraping the barrel here before we have to go back to Burning Crusade and suffer. So, yeah. Classic is so uninspiring to me. Stop making me play it, Blizzard. I feel you, Nadia. At least they've only done this like twice. They didn't even do it for Classic. There wasn't a Classic promo mount. Besides, you know, the one that you had to buy. It finished getting Marafang from Necrotic Awake after mount farming, so now I feel like I'm trying to get the last 3 Legion mounts, but I kind of already want to go back to Mog Pet farming. That is totally fair. Totally understandable. Blackwing Lair, perfect. That put us right out here. That's nice, actually. That's handy. Cool. Noted. Alright, Blackwing Lair, back in we go. We just need 3 things, 2 of which are more important. So, not hard. We don't even actually have to finish it. We only have to go up to Chromagus, which basically is the whole dungeon, but yeah. Alright. Poor NPCs being beat up by 10 pandas. I can imagine. I don't think the Diamond Tribute chest is buffed to give 5 items, and I'm pretty sure it normally gives 5 pieces of loot. I have no idea. I don't do that place much. Which, by the way, as you just saw, I found out the trick, because I could not stop aggroing those guys, and I couldn't click on it. You can get to it from the floor, so I'm doing it from the floor. Figured that out last night when I threw my characters at this a few times. Apparently, I did do the Wrath DK starting zone for Classic promo. I have no memory of it. I thought I didn't have them out. Oh! That's funny. I did stream that one, so maybe you did it while I was streaming? I don't know. That is possible. That's when we were streaming with Canary, so maybe that's why. I don't know. It's my only guess. Oh, yeah, we did. We had to deal with Wrath too. We did, but that was just the DK starter zone, which isn't too bad. It's only the bosses that are buffed. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that meant the tribute, because it's technically boss loot, but you know, I don't know. It's hard to say on some of those. Except 2 minute of nerf RP, nerf RP, at least exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm pleased about. Ring clue. Here we go. There we go. Okay. Lots of loot comes, lots of bosses' loot comes in chests. Not sure why this one would be different. I guess maybe because the boss also drops loot. I guess it's just a weird one. It's possible. I'm sure in typical Blizzard fashion, there's a lot of weird exceptions. They probably just went in, waved the magic wand, and didn't really look at it. I would assume, perhaps improperly assuming it would catch everything. It doesn't, because there's... every instance has its quirks, so, you know. Good morning, Miss Latte. At work, so I'll be lurking. Have an awesome stream. Have a good day at work, Epoch, and thank you so much for being here. That was related to... not related to an actual main boss. Yeah, it's a tribute run in Gordok Commons is when you do the whole... you run the whole thing without killing any of the bosses. And it was kind of a weird thing. And you get the Gordok skin, or the Ogre skin, or whatever it is. Get the guard to move, and then you go kill the end boss without killing his lackey. And then a guy will run up to you and be like, "Oh, you did it! You're the king now! Here's your tribute." So, technically boss loot, but it's hard to say. Who knows how it's coded. Good afternoon, Coane. How you doing? Glad to have you here. Welcome. So basically have done the basic campaign in Shadowlands and I'm about to start collecting. Got any basic strategy? Not really. Put on a movie and enjoy. Pretty much it. So good luck. Evening, Munter Hand. Glad to have you here. Welcome. Things with Sholo, for example, it's only the actual bosses that are buffed, not the optional ones. I think those are the ones that are considered optional or extra. I don't know. Yeah, who knows? That's like the annoying part too, because there's more loot on the quote-unquote optional bosses than there are on the main bosses in Sholomance, I noticed. So that's fun. That's fun. That's why I was kind of debating, like, once I get the loot off the Lich, and Raz Frost Whisper here, if I should bother with the other ones right now, or if I should just wait until and then move to Burning Crusade. We still have a lot of Burning Crusade stuff to do too. So who knows? Just is probably tagged different from boss in the systems. They probably just mark the bosses as double. Yeah, that's my assumption as well. part sucks. Hello, Lynn. How you doing? Glad to have you here. Welcome. I only need the epic axe from Tribute and all of DM, so I decided to skip for now since it is not buffed. Gotcha. That's what I needed yesterday too, but somehow got it on my first try. I think that's very rare. Very rare that I get things on the first try. I was really happy about that. Very happy about that. Yeah, there we go. Let me out. This debuff is insane. Okay. Oh, yeah. Bold of you to assume a single movie will be sufficient for Shadowlands collecting. Well, if you have the Lord of the Rings Extended Edition, and maybe, the entire, series of... Hey, nice, we got one. Of, Doctor Who or something. It might suffice. That is true. Bosses as rares and dungeons also don't have a buff loot. Very all over the place in these old instances. Yeah, I'm very sad about especially the rares. Because those are arguably way worse than the bosses in terms of loot. Ugh. That's a lot of what I need in Classic. Most of these are rares that you're seeing in the dungeons there. But since they're not buffed by the event, I'm skipping them for now, so... Yeah. Oh, hey, Kraken, I'm also doing Blackwing Lair. Hello, Pancor. Welcome and good luck. I hope you get loot. Hello, Ollie Bear. How you doing? Welcome. I'd bring the Pirates of the Caribbean series out for that, too. True. Ah, we didn't get the shoulders. Rats. We'll have to come back. We just need one zone drop and some shoulders. Well, go ahead and hearth him, because I don't need him for Molten Core. I need shamans for Molten Core. I need MC and Black Temple for Legos. Oh, well, good luck. Days of Our Lives, all seasons after that SL should be finished. Exactly. Yes. That's a long one. That should do it. Maybe throw on some MASH while you're at it. They've got a lot of seasons. Okay, don't want that. Alright, put this in the bank. Lord of the Rings and Pirates are just absolute cinema to me. No one has been able to do another series like that to me since. Fair, yeah, totally fair. Oh, right. I need to clean out the bank. Crap, I did not get time to do that. Alright, it won't take me long to post at least just this auction stuff from the bank directly. So let me do that real quick so that the bank is open. All those tabs. That's why I cleaned out the bank and pulled stuff out for the event, because I knew we would need it. All those tabs were just from one day. Also did the final count and got 21 mounts that were affected by this event, specifically 3 more this month that weren't. Nice! Congrats, Lynn. Very nice. Hulk Hogan died too? Wow. Man. Hulk Hogan and Ozzy Osbourne, like within the same week or two? Dang. It's that time of year, I guess. Key Wayne, you're at 24. Congrats. Nicely done. Missing 87 mogs from classic dungeons now, and it's all rares, drops, zone drops. Yep, same. I'm very, very close to that as well. And recipes. Recipes are definitely included in that. Alright, let me grab... Okay, so that's all full. Yep, because I had already pulled stuff out to make room. Let me do a few posts. It won't take very long. I'm not going to do everything I have. I just need to clean out the bank, or I'm not going to be able to put more in it. And I'm going to drown in all of my mog. Let me pull off my sweatshirt here. I've been turning my AC on early, even though it's not been as hot outside. There we go. That way it gets cold in here. So when the PC starts heating up the room from streaming, it stays cooler longer. So it's been working out pretty well. Brought to you by Molten Quarry, now on Gnomish broadcasting systems everywhere. Nice. Alright. I know, just what y'all wanted to see. More posting, but that's the other... That's the downside to hardcore running this event. Plus, upside and downside, way too much stuff. So funny thing, I got reminded I had an unused level boost. I used it for an extra run against Mythic Jaina and got the mount! Congrats, headphones! Nice! Well, that's handy. Congrats. Alright. Post all this garbage. Won't take very long. I really, really hope at some point, as much as I hate when they mess with stuff because it breaks things, I really do hope at some point they make the guild bank bigger. It's not very big. Like, as you're about to see here once I get all this out of my bags, it's like 2.5 tabs is just my banker's bags. Like, that's a lot of space that is in my bags and not in the bank. Like, seriously. I really hope they at least add extra tabs or make it bigger or something. It's actually very small. And that's why it fills up so quick. Excuse me. Love that Jaina mount. It is very cool. I wanted that one for a long time. I was very glad I was able to at least get that one. Yeah, watch. It's not a lot of space. So many Gerts? Yes. It was still worth farming for the event for me. Agreed. Helps have a very good skip. For sure. I wish we had more skips like that. Oh, one thing I'd like to see is merge the warband bank slots with character bag space. I would not want to see that. I would be very extremely unhappy if they did that. Because then where would all of your character stuff go? If you have more than 2 characters, you'd be screwed. That'd be instantly bad for me. I definitely don't want that one. Slowly getting all the stuff pulled out. Bank is so slow. Doot, doot, doot. Very slow. See, it really doesn't add up to a whole lot, does it? Yeah, I kind of use the guild bank less and less because it is kind of meh. Yeah, that's fair. I still do because of exactly this. I use my warband bank for other stuff, so I need the space in the guild bank for this. It's fantastic for dumping stuff. Plus, because I share a guild with Silver, she can dump stuff in there too. And we can both, you know, take mog or recipes or pets from it that we might need. And share that. Plus we can share gold that way. And it works out there. But I just really wish it was bigger. It's not very big. Yeah, we'll get all this posted, we'll clean out these tabs. We have to before I can continue doing anything. I won't post what's in my mail though, I think some of my stuff expired, which is fine. But I think it's definitely still helpful to have a personal guild bank, agreed. Even though I can't craft directly from it, I still store the multiple copies of one blacksmithing or dual crafting recipes that my alts may or may not know. Yep, that's a good use for it too. I use it as a trash bin. Trash bin and shared gold. Works out pretty good. Totally getting there. Alright, so 1 tab and about 3/4 of another one. Still. Okay. So... gonna do that. And vendor a couple of these yellows that I could use. Give me those IDs, because why not? Alright. Open these up. Personal Gape should end up being quite bigger if you're like me and don't use the void storage at least. Yeah, especially since we won't have a void storage anymore, so that point will be entirely moot in about a week. You know what I mean? Very unfortunate. Okay. So... we need to put... not that. These in there. Those will be posted separately. Look at all these maps. Okay. I'll post things. Pull those out and then post. Beautiful. Just because I didn't have a personal guild before getting the warband one, I just made it so I didn't have to bother getting the guild one. Gotcha. Very nice, very nice. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to not have the guild bank. I'm too reliant on being able to dump stuff. Can't really do that with my warband. Doesn't particularly work for me. So far I'm sitting on 8 mounts from the event and 1 bear mog as well. Nice, congrats! That's handy. Love the change because I never liked the void storage, prefer how the warband one works. Makes a lot more consistent system. Gotcha. I don't mind the warband one. It definitely has its uses, but I preferred the void storage for storing, well, exactly what it says. Storage. It's not like a bank per se. It's meant for storing things you don't take out. At least not very often. And now we won't have that anymore, so I'm not very happy about that, personally. Oops, nope, those are pets. They look like reagents, but they're not. That one is, though. Okay, post those. Same, the more warband takes over, the more guild banks are becoming obsolete. I guess I definitely disagree, but to each their own. Cleaned out my full void storage with all the stuff I thought was cool and collectible. Many tabards. The garage sale netted me 11 gold. Woohoo! Fun. Love another warband tab, but I fear the price tag they would attach. Right? Especially with the most expensive one being 2.5 million. Like, where are they gonna go from there, huh? Like 3 million? 5 million? Seriously, Blizzard? Seriously. Like, they jumped way too high on that. Storing items I never take out. I use vendors for those. You vendor your legendaries? That's not good. One thing I realized is that my void storage is holding my armor sets from previous expansions. After about Shadowlands, I just started vendoring gear piece I didn't need to. Sort of forgot about the gear that was in my void bank. RIP. The things you can't actually delete, and I thought it was the Legion Legos. I think you can delete those. I don't remember. I don't know what you can and can't delete. I've never tried to delete my Legos. I keep mine. Now, of course I don't vendor my legendaries. My storage solution for those is never being lucky enough to get any. Gotcha. I collect all of them, so that's why I needed the space. You can put your mop cloaks in there, your wad rings if you have them, various things like that. Yeah. Well, I have a whole video on what I store in my void storage in case anyone wanted to watch it before I remove it. Because it won't be useful anymore. But yeah, on my YouTube channel I do have a void storage video. So, there you go. I'm a sucker for space and holding items. So I have a bank and all my tabs in the Warband bank max bags. Yeah, same. That and I collect books. I like collecting lore books, and I hope that someday we'll be able to put them all in a library or something, like for our house or whatever. That'd be really nice. A lot of those are in my void storage as well, because I have so many. Some of them you can't even get anymore because they're from events that, well, they were temporary. I have a lot of stuff like, nope, no, not those. These. These are what we're taking out. We're not posting everything, just the guild bank. Pass of the word band tab is over 9,000 gold. It is. It actually is. I don't know why war banks don't work like guild banks. When you right-click to deposit an item, it goes on the first available spot, whereas guild banks put them on your currently selected tabs. It's a feature I want to have in the war banks. Agreed, Dosu. It's freaking annoying. Agreed. That is my biggest gripe about war banks. So I've gotten in the habit of dragging and dropping, and right-clicking in my guild banks has become obsolete for me too, because since I play mainly not on the server that my guild is required to be held on, since I can't transfer my guild because of Blizzard, they removed the ability to do that, I can't right-click things that stack into the guild bank. It's the most obscene thing ever. So we lost some functionality with that. Here we go. And a guild bank too with like 5 or 6 tabs. Yeah, exactly. I think I have all 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I have all 8, but still. Even with 8, it's not enough. Keep my challenge mode gear pieces on each class because I know I could vendor them, but I can't bring myself to. Fair. I feel you. I feel you. There we go. Well, you guys, don't worry. You'll get to see all of my void storage and bank stuff next week because we'll have 4 or 5-ish days. 5 or 6, I guess, before the patch goes live and wrecks it. So I'll be doing a lot of cleaning after this event is over, during that brief week period there of, you know, non-eventness. Like I have one tab that is only for gear, but it doesn't go in there, and I'm confused why not. Right? Agreed. It's irritating. I really wish they would fix it. Well, LB, they just confirmed they resetted raids. Why did they reset the raids early? Really? Where are you seeing the confirm on it? Huh. Is it on the Blizzard main page or something? Yeah, where's the confirmation at? I don't see it in Blizzard news. Oh, Wowhead hasn't posted on it. I didn't get a notification about my raids being reset. Guess I'll find out when I get there. My tune that already did the raid resetted. Are you sure you're not... are you on the EU? Because that could have been... I mean, wasn't your reset, like, yesterday? So there's that. I need to go through all my alt and make sure I have the reagents and void storage bought. Same, that's something I need to do too. Same. Because I really don't want to have to pay the gold for it. Because, you know, most of my characters are not 80. I don't keep all of my characters at max. Purposefully. And I really don't want to have to pay that 5k gold or whatever it is per character that doesn't have it unlocked. Not going to be very happy about that. I'm US. Reset was yesterday for EU. None of mine have reset since then. I guess you had some sort of bug? I'm not sure. Yeah. Let's see. Let's clean this up. Boop. And put those in there. Get rid of all this garbo. So many mats. That's okay. It'll all go in the auction house. Okay, vendor stuff real quick. Let's see. There's one. Any other yellows? No. Okay. Lockbox. This is my banker is also a rogue. Because of this right here. Hilariously though, I keep DCing. Good grief! I'm so sorry, Nadia. That doesn't sound like a good time. It's quite infuriating. I completely understand. There we go. We're getting there. We're getting there. Karaji Ruins. Oh, Karaji Ruins reset daily. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, the Karaji Ruins are the only raid that resets daily. The temple is weekly, but the ruins are daily. So there you go. That is exactly why. I know, it's weird, of course. Like I said, Blizzard. Consistently inconsistent. Yep, it does. I've been using it to farm my recipes every day. I'm down to just 3 more. Because that shares the same enchanting recipes, for those of you that didn't know, with Temple of Ahn'Qiraj. Same enchanting recipes are in Ruins from the bosses. So I've been doing that every day to try to get those recipes. I'm down to 3. Getting there. Post that, these. Okay, is that all the... Yeah, alright. Post this. Yeah, it's like a heroic dungeon, but it's a raid. Yep, I think it's like the one exception. I really wish they were all daily, but alas. I think the biggest one for me thus far from the bounty is that I have 600k in my bank just from selling enchanted elementium. Nice. The only downside is that I have to somewhat aggressively cancel scan despite bursting pretty quickly in sets of 10. Aw, I'm sorry. Ooh, nice. That means I can farm rep faster for the final transmogs. You can, but do keep in mind that the rep from Ruins is mostly for Cenarion, not for Brood, I noticed. You get a little bit, but it's very little. But it is a little extra, so it is an option. I really wish they were both Brood. I don't know what the Cenarion Circle has to do with this, but whatever. So... Oh, nobody want those. Let me get rid of that. I need Cenarion for the quest mug. Ah, gotcha. That makes sense. Gotcha, gotcha. Well, there you go. Perfect. There we go. Okay. Get rid of all this garbo. That on the auction house, real exciting. Wish I could find a way to farm arcane crystals quicker, but they tend to have a low drop rate from thorium, making it so much more fair. That is fair. I notice I have been getting them randomly from as drops in Molten Core, but that's probably not ideal. Okay, those are dupes. How much are they worth? Not much. Not much. Nothing. And also nothing. Okay. Almost there, getting down there. We're just doing the guild bank, not all the stuff that's in my mail. Or we'd be here for a few hours if that were the case. Let's go, got an epic BOE while farming WoD dungeons. Nice! Congrats, Dosu. Congrats. What am I doing? I am posting auctions. Not all of them, just the ones that are in my guild bank, because I didn't have time this morning to clean it out, because every single day Silver and I have been filling 5 or 6 of the tabs that are specific for dumping stuff. Every day, because of this event. And so every day I've had to post stuff, just to make room. It's insane. I have 7 million in my guild bank. I guess I should take maybe, let me start over. I should maybe take that out before the bank change to be safe, I guess. Yeah, that'd probably be wise. I wouldn't keep that in the bank just in case. something I'm going to be doing as well once the event's over. Okay, yep, there's some more. Look at that. We only had like 10 slots left for stuff to dump. But as soon as I get all this posted, we'll go in Molten Core, like I said. I just caught sight of the trash heap and I was like, ooh, I need to take out the trash. So, you know. The joys of all this garbly-gook. I was gonna do some housekeeping and all the alts. Yep, for sure. This is exactly why I just clean out my try to make myself clean out my bags every time I before I log out, you know? That way I don't have to clean my characters. I just clean out the guild bank. Because arguably cleaning out every single character takes way longer than just emptying the guild bank. It's quite nice. I see some yellows too. Neat. Look at all this trash. Trash, trash, trash. Cleaning. There we go. Yep, those are for me. Clean. Excellent.
Yay. Alaskan Druid sub to your channel for 12 months.
Thank you so much, Alaskan Druid, for the resub. Super appreciate your continued support. Because thanks to folks like you, I can keep working. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. There we go. No, it's been longer than 12 months. Has it? It has. But thank you so much. I appreciate it. And welcome back. Glad to have you here, as always. How you doing today? Hopefully Biz will reimburse the gold spent on big changes. I doubt they will. More than likely not. People would have had banks for, you know, years and years and years, so I do not foresee that happening. Which is fine. I don't mind that they don't, personally. That's not a big deal. Okay, it's vendor that, and that, and that. And those. And that. Okay. There we go. Love supporting my favorite Captain Jack Sparrow's Kraken. Well, thank you, Alaskan. That's very sweet of you. Other BOE. So this is where my event luck went, eh? I feel that, Dosu. I feel that. My Mog has definitely been a little better than my mount drops, for sure. Alright. Almost done with the posting. We just gotta post this stuff, and then the reagents, and we're good to go. For Molten Core. This is why I like TSM. I don't have to pay attention. Just slap it all in there and barf onto the auction house. Here you go, buy my shit. Thank you. Have a nice day. Leaves. Cape swoosh. Okay, are these all dupes? Yes, they are. Gee, it's Sind. Thank you so much for the follow. Glad to have you here. Hope you enjoy your stay. Welcome. Good enough time with everything. With enough time, everything eventually sells. Exactly. I'm not too worried. That. That's fine. Actually, it's got 100. Yeah, I'll put those in the dupes. Alright, pull all these. Just my TSM. was curious to what I'm looking at. Auctions. We are posting auctions. The auction house in World of Warcraft is fantastic because you can barf whatever you want onto it and stuff eventually sells. Especially reagents, since those are region-wide. So that's what we're looking at. Pulling stuff out of my guild bank, and then we're good to go. It was full. Very full, in fact. Let's go, pull it out of the bag. What was even worth? 3,500? Not bad. Always. Alright. And then we're gonna molten core it up here in just a minute. Like I wanted to, but we have too much garbage in the guild bank. I see where I need to rename it to the garbage heap. These toys and Legos don't feel as buffed as the mounts, although I am way more limited on chances, I guess. Aw, that's fair. There we go. And those two are dupes, so those can stay. Okay. Hopefully Thoradal will drop this week. Hopefully. Good luck. Welcome to Molten Court. All rise. Perfect. Let's go. Sure, Blue said they didn't buff toys and pets. They did not buff toys and pets except for one single toy. There is one that they buffed. You know, as much as I don't vibe with the orc aesthetic usually, their music's pretty dang good. Agreed. It is. I love their music, especially the WAD stuff. I think is some of my most, I don't know, invigorating, orky type music. I do love it. There. We're clean. We can leave. And we're actually gonna switch accounts. The bank is finally done. Alright. I pull up my other account. We're gonna get on a shaman. And we can go do Molten Core now. Alright. Shaman. I do have 3 shamans on this account. Perfect. Alright. To Molten Core we go. Alright, it's just the one toy. I'm just trying to get the DH one as well. Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair. Yeah, it was just the Jaraxxus something from Gul'dan. It's a little weird. Gul'dan is just mean and green. Yes, he is. He's a mean green fighting machine. Alright. To Molten Core! Yeah, my talent's looking pretty mediocre. Good enough. Alright, madam. Blackrock Depths. Molten Core time. Alrighty. Let's see. She does not have ATT on, actually. Let me adjust her add-ons. Don't want that. We do want these. Okay, reload. Alright. That looks a little better. Let's save that set. Oh, I didn't put the Hold on. Save these. There we go. Now we reload. I had the didn't have my ATT sound packs on. Had to turn those on. Gotta have our sounds. We'll even turn the kazoo back on. Because we're in the phase of working with really, really, really low numbers. So, cheers. Let's see. Audio. Kazoo. Toot toot. Exactly. We all ready for that? The kazoo. See, when I throat yell ooh, the vowel makes me think of cool every time because of Samurai Jack. Kazoo, you know? Toot toot. Yeah, I don't know. And I can see him saying that stuff too, is the funny thing. Alright. Let's see, let's turn on, go ahead and add that. In we go. Changed my ATT sound to that. Perfect. It definitely gets annoying if you're getting it a lot of stuff, but for like when you know there's not a lot you're going to be getting, it's kind of nice. I do kind of like it. Alright, molten core. We only need 3 things, and then we're good to go. Missed the kazoo? Of course I did. I love the kazoo, just not when we're getting a lot of stuff here. Alright, let's move that over. Adjust this a bit. Beautiful. Figured since what we need off of Ragnaros is the enchant an illusion, which is tracked account wide. It's not like one of the Tome of Hex thingies or a recipe, which I have that recipe, by the way, but since, you know, those are not account wide, they're character specific, I'd have to sync the accounts, which is just not worth the effort. So, yeah. I figured because this is account wide, I can go for it. That's what we're gonna do. Alright. What, racial aesthetics? Any brand of elf mostly. I'm also fond of Draenei crystal stuff with Kultir and Gilnean take on basically medieval with a twist of fantasy. Perfect. This wasn't my cup of tea, to be honest. Good luck with everything and stuff. Bye. Have a good day, OMG. Thank you for being here. Same on those, but actually with what orc songs? Oh, gotcha. I think Lynn was referring to specifically like the WoD stuff. At least that's what we were talking about at the time. But their music in general is pretty good too. What is this molten door on the floor that I adore? Just don't be a bore. I don't want to know molten lore because I want molten more and molten the war. You're throwing me a tongue twister here. I just don't want to be sore from the molten tour. Out of breath. Yeah, I would be out of breath too. Currently farming unholy DK's hidden artifact in the proving grounds. It's pretty tedious and boring. Yes, it is. Good luck. Good luck. Mostly the orky chanting in the WoD soundtrack. Perfect. Yes, that's my favorite stuff too. I need to really listen to that one. I do feel like the music in Draenor is pretty good whenever I go there. It is. It's definitely some of the best Horde music in my opinion. Hated that, never got it either. Good luck. When I was doing that's the one from the book from the army, right? I was literally sitting on my unholy DK when it was current and just summoning my army every 10 minutes while I was doing college work. It took a good few hours, but I did eventually get it. It was so boring. Like, it was such a dumb way of doing it. Because it just throws onto the floor, and you could easily miss the book. It doesn't even tell you it shows up. At least it didn't for me. I didn't notice it. I think the proving grounds were really underutilized. Yes, they were, and I'm glad they didn't bring them back, because I hated them. They really could have reiterated on them, but I didn't like them as they were for sure. You should match the soundtracks to the WoW books I'm reading. Hey, there you go. Love a good Spotify playlist project. Perfect. I don't even remember how to get it anymore. Yeah, it's from that. There's, wait, there's hidden weapon in the Mott Proving Grounds? No, it's just a way to reset your cooldowns. At least that's how I've used it before. You can pop in there and then pop back out and it'll reset your CDs. For whatever reason. At least that used to. I don't know if that's why you're doing it, but... that would be my assumption. Alright. Okay. Giant Magmadar still didn't give us the leggings. Let's hope the Fellheart robes from Golemag actually drop. That would be nice. Give? No, did not drop it. Gosh dang it. The Magmadar leg, for sure. Okay. No Mog. Fingers crossed we get the illusion then. Because that would be nice. See, if we get the illusion, we can just go back to our main account. And not have to worry about it. Alright. Whee! I love this. Nice. Cool. Alright. Onwards. Really wish you didn't have to kill everything to get to Ragnaros. Because any of these bosses, you can technically do any order, you can skip them. Unless you want to get to Ragnaros. Which, of course, is exactly who drops the illusion that I need. Of course, of course. Right. Of course. Couldn't make it easy on me. No, no, no. Alright. Get all of these boys. I wonder if these guys are considered Naga by Blizzard. They seem like they would be. They look like they are, but they're definitely different. They don't share the same exact model, that is. Okay, now we can run all the way over to Ragnaros. First, he can't go right to Ragnaros. He needs his beauty nap. If you didn't do every other boss, you'd awaken him too soon. Exactly. Naga cousins. It seems like it's their fire cousin. I don't actually know where those ones come from. Because they look like Naga, but I always kind of imagined that they were Naga that, kind of like how the druids and the dwarves did, joined Ragnaros. Some dragons do it too. And you become something new because of the element. I mean, look at what happened to Elisra was a dragon who became Elisra, the bird. So, I don't know, it's interesting. Not a link, just a joke. I was wondering, I was like, huh. Too soon, executives. I was able to get the Eye of Sulfuris, but it was on a hunter, so I don't get the achievement since I can't equip maces. But, I still get the Mog, that's the important part. Perfect. Well, there you go. I think they're native, being native to the Firelands? Yeah, I'm not sure. I've never actually, like... Do they even talk about their lore in game at all? I'd have to, like, look them up. There probably is somewhere. I feel like it'd probably be buried. Mostly based on old D&D race of fire elementals, I think. Huh. Interesting. They're just suspiciously similar to the Naga, so it's interesting. Look them up at some point. Hi Kraken, I'm running MC as we speak. Hello Uncle Willie. Only need the Arcanist robes and I'm done with it. Nice! Good luck! I just need the Giant Stalker's leggings, the Fellheart robes, and the Illusion Flame Tongue for Shaman. And then I'll be good to go. But we'll see if we get the illusion this week. I'm hoping I do, because I really don't want to keep running Molten Core. Maybe in the journal? Maybe. Let's see. No, there's no lore on this guy. I'm not surprised. These didn't even used to have a journal. When did they add the journal to all of them? I don't think it's something people realized. Journal was actually kind of new in terms of, you know, the lifespan of WoW. Anyone remember when they added the journal to all the dungeons and raids? Was that Legion? BFA? I don't remember. The Firelands journal? Oh, that's true. Maybe they updated that one. Let's look at that. Firelands Kata. Does this one have lore? Here we go. The Flamewalkers are among the most feared elemental guardians in the Firelands. Shiannok's is no exception, serving as chief hunter and kennel master of Ragnar's hellhounds. Shiannok's patrols the elemental realm with his tomb of ferocious beasts, Ripplim, and Rageface. That kind of doesn't really answer. It just says the Flamewalkers are most feared elemental guardians. Interesting. Illusion, maybe? No? Bah! No illusion. Elemental guardians suggest they're elementals to me. Well, they are indeed, but you can become an elemental is the thing. You can turn into one. Shamans can become elementals. You can ascend as the, what's that cult? The elemental cult. Not the good one. I forget what they're called. Something hammer. But they ascend into elementals. So you can become an elemental. Elisrazor became one. I'm just curious what their origins are. Kind of like how you can become a demon. Like, what if you fully... It seems like, in terms of Azerothian magic, or a lot of fantasy, really, if you fully give yourself to whatever magic you're using, you become something of that magic, which is fascinating. Okay, let's turn those in. Pitbull named Daisy be like... Kata is when the guide was introduced. Anything prior is not complete. Gotcha. I know that's when it was like originally introduced, but I mean during the time I was playing, a lot of the old raids didn't actually have one. Which I think would be... Yeah, since you said Kata, that would have been classic through Wrath. Didn't have one for the longest time, and it was so frustrating to me when I was playing. I don't remember when they actually officially added the new ones, though. Twilight Hammer, that's it. Twilight Hammer. Occasional walkers of groggy fire bosses who are crank after their naps. Perfect. No illusion? Where are you hiding? Alright. We go again. New shaman, who dis? Alright. Let's see. Stop giving me the lore walking quest. I've already done it. I don't care. Good grief. Love how much WoW has evolved. Same, honestly. Same. I do too. That's part of the reason I'm not super interested in Classic, is all the quality of life stuff that we have in the new one. Most of it's not in the original one. Well, it's not even original. It's more like Classic Plus. But still. Too many things I like about retail to ever go back to Classic. Okay. This character needs her add-ons updated too. Been a hot minute since I've been on this account. Alright. One thing that Classic does better is open world is full of people. Yes, which definitely is not something I like, so... But that definitely is another bonus for me, at least. With retail. I don't like having to fight for my stuff in the open world. I tried like 2 hours of Classic, decided I had enough nostalgia for another decade or two, and uninstalled it. Fair. Yep, I did hardcore when it came out because everyone really wanted me to. So I did 4 hours of leveling, got really painfully bored, and died to a bunch of trogs and called it good. So I was like, alright, I'm tired. We were in Dune Moro the whole time. I'm like, yeah, I didn't miss this. Depends on your realm. True. World is pretty busy still to me, especially in this event, anything like it. Yeah, especially if you're on like Moonguard or like a bigger pot realm. Yeah, for sure. Okay, here we go again. Hey, Chibi Squid, it's exploding hug time. Let's go. Hello, Mumbina. Oops, I missed. Too busy saying hi. Uh-oh. I'm a shaman. I should be able to walk in lava. I'm just saying. Anyway, hello, Mumbina. How you doing? Welcome. Can I get out, please? Can I not get out up here? Is that a no? Oh, that's fine, I guess. Anyway, where are we at here? I ran past a dude who was the Nostalgia Bait Guild. That's funny. Never got to the point of putting in all that work only to die, and it's just gone. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it either. Like, I like hardcore like on Minecraft, but I only do that on specific hardcore worlds. Like, I have my main world, and then I have my hardcore world, which I guess is kind of the same vibe. But I don't, like, build anything extravagant in it. It's just a see how long I can survive thing, which I guess is, I would assume, how they're treating it. Kind of a see how long you can survive thing, which to a point has its thrill. But World of Warcraft is not that game for me. No. No, 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 no. Now, I will say, if they introduced hardcore to retail, and everything you did is similar-esque to, say, D3, Diablo 3, where you have like a seasonal quote-unquote character, you feed kind of your main like collection, but you know, the Blizzard, like not Blizzard, but retail Warcraft style. So you lose the character, but not like everything you might have gained. I'd be fine with that. That'd be kind of an interesting ordeal. But that's a very niche thing that I don't think Blizzard will ever do. Sorry, I got you killed. You're fine, Mumbina. Don't worry about it. It's okay. It's all good. It happens. A Moonguard will fill those classic areas for sure. The only catch you got to keep in mind with retail is there are 10 expansions people can be spread across, while classic is significantly lower. For sure, yeah. That too. Didn't start playing until WoD, so I'm not even getting the nostalgia trip while leveling this panda. It's just painful. See, I started in MOP, but I don't have nostalgia for it. I hated that expansion. I didn't enjoy the game until WoD, so I was right there with you. I was like, ugh. Which I think is why Silver wanted to do it off-screen. Her and I did it together. We just RP'd through it. Not in-game, but in Discord of the RP that we have going on. And by the time we were done with it, we're like, oh, hey, we're done. Cool. Anyway. So we weren't suffering necessarily. We totally disassociated. It worked perfectly. That's the beauty of an RP realm. Yep. You can drop down the lava fall. Yeah, but I didn't want to come down here. I wanted to go back up. And there's no area to go back up apparently. Need the Arcanist robes. I get the Fellheart robes. Ah, of course. Rip. You try classic hardcore, class at all, because you would hate it more. Exactly. Yeah, if you're a retail fan, classic might not be for you. Like, there's definitely people who enjoy both, but I am certainly not one of them. Alright, gotta bounce for a bit. See you later. See you in a bit, Lynn. Have a good day. I wish I could disassociate, however, I have a rage problem, so I just get mad. Fair. That is fair. Come here, you. Stab it. Stab it. I started during vanilla, tried playing classic, but just didn't hit the same. The vibe is different. It is very different, for sure. I'm not surprised. That's why I see it as more of a classic plus. I'm a nostalgia trip whenever I play a mage in classic. Remember having to keep feathers and runes? Or like hunters, you had to keep arrows. Or rogues had to keep their poisons. Woof. Same with Hunter, and then I just played a DK and Wrath. Perfect. You heard of the Ascension Project? It feels like the best of both worlds. Unfortunately, it's illegal, and I guess can be shut down at any time. Yeah, that's a private server, isn't it? I have. I'm not really interested in private servers, but I have heard of it. Come back, Baron Geddon. Wait! Oh, we're desync. That's unfortunate. Hold on, everybody. Rocky ride. Random DC. Oh, my stars are still on. There we go. Well, well, well. Anyway. I may have a Paladin TBC or Wrath vanilla through Kata. I know Kata I definitely made a Worgen. I was almost convinced to stick around. But better than it was, but you know. Is the game having an issue? I'm a little concerned here. Anyway, Rocky Ride. I love that ice cream, Citadel ice cream. Oh wait, exactly. Love that ice cream. Oh wait, we're talking WoW. Yeah. I could go for some Rocky Road though. Nah, I just don't get why I would play Classic, then just go to Tearfall Glades and Retail. Yeah, still no log. And stare at 3 polygons there, except I have my entire collection with me, which I wouldn't have in Classic. Yeah, I feel the same, Nadia. I agree. I play because of my collection, because I like collecting, and so if I don't have that, or I have to redo all of that, I probably wouldn't play anymore. Just saying. My Draenei, apparently. Draenei DK only got to 60 or 70, and we're being so proud though. That's how much of a noob I was. Hey, I mean, back then, that is something to be proud of. The leveling was a nightmare, so I'd say that's astonishing. If that place served ice cream, the Molten Core would probably be a fondue place. Yes! I would love some fondue, dude. That sounds great. Problem I am having is to just start over with such limited time. I spent so much time on retail collecting stuff, it's tough to start over. Agreed. Agreed, Tidiane. I am probably saying your name totally wrong. Tidiane. Tidiane? Tide. I'll call you Tide. I apologize. I don't want to say your name wrong. I realize, like, wait a second, that sounds like titties. Yeah, same, though. I completely agree. I don't want to have to restart on my collections. I don't want to redo that all over again. I was already there. I already did stuff. Like, I don't know. I'm not the type to start things over and over, but some people are, and that totally fits their, you know, their desire then. It's just not for me. There we go. I was there for the open world vibes. Fair. Exactly. Like in Classic, I have nothing. I also don't care about the old world pre-Kata, so nothing's from me. Fair. I do wish we had Classic in retail, like the world. I really wish they would bring it back and put it like in Chromie time or something, you know, as an option. Or even Zadormi. You can just go over to her and be like, hey, can you switch either by zone or just the whole thing? That would be really nice. I want them to bring that back. But you know, maybe one day. So did we get everybody? We did. Okay. Ragnarok's time. Yeah, if my collections went bye-bye, so would I. Same, Nieli. Same. I have played this game for 13 years. I cannot and will not start over. No. Like, you can't even have mounts in Classic till a certain level. Wow, yeah, so the being in convenience store. Exactly. Yep. Referencing, wow. Excuse me while my tongue gets stuck. Referencing the trading post letter you have to write for the Arathi. You have a prompt if they have airships. Seriously, airships. I want to make tiny collectible airships. Now that I have tiny vats of oil, cheese, or chocolate all around it. It would be called a crew of meats, cheeses, vegetables with female captain with a very serious face. Seriously, airships. That would be pretty great. We need something like that for our house. Played 13 years consistent. Let's... Yeah. Yeah. I'll keep the collab off. Well then. Alright. New MA here. New MA here. Yeesh. We're playing RuneScape. Compared to how much less FOMO there is to RuneScape,